baby. It's direct from the beautiful Inland Blue Studios. Honey, this is the Nerdlife Crisis podcast with your host, that fine-ass Chris Thayer, that beautiful Steve Hale, and that big hunker chunk of meat, Ron Milts. Woo! Mama's hot up in here. Let's get this party started.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerdlife Crisis podcast. Here with your host today,
Chris Thayer,
Steve Hale,
and I'm Ron Milts. Hey, we're back. We're actually back.
Yes, Happy New Year. About a month
late,
in a week late.
Yeah,
so.
that is completely my fault. Completely my fault. My wife's grandfather died when we were supposed to record last, and we had they're Catholic, so there was 7 funerals. As Catholics do. There was a wake and the rosary, and then I'm pretty sure was it the hipster Jesus with the big thumbs up comes and gave us a high five. George Carlin was there for some reason. There was all sorts of stuff going on, but it was.
And we talked about recording the last weekend of January, which would have been last week in our world. And I couldn't because I was going on a cruise. And
nice.
I had a lot of stuff going on, and I was like, we're talking back and forth, and he said, maybe this night, and all I could think of is Ron when he goes on a trip somewhere, running around like he's a McAllister from Home Alone, right? And forgetting like a child or some shit, Or,
I've never actually forgot a child.
Chris is puking on the side of the fucking road.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, I mean,
And I said, let's not push it because my old lady will kill me.
you're not wrong on many of those. You're not wrong. There's the number of times that I have forgotten a jacket,
I can attest to that.
The trip that I took where I forgot all my underwear. I literally got there and there was no underwear, and I'm like, cool. Well, I don't have a car, and I don't know where there is a Target nearby. so this is going to be a fun week,
I think there was one year we went to Comic-Con. You're like, I just got off the plane from Ireland. Let's go to con. I've been gone for 2 weeks. Now we're going to fucking San Diego for another week.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
Yeah.
That's
If I have to go to the grocery store and Target in one evening or afternoon, I'm like, I'm exhausted. I can't do anything else.
It's been a busy day.
Yeah, totally.
Bed Bath Beyond,
right?
Home Depot.
We're talking about going to Olive Garden for dinner. It's pretty packed Saturday night at the Hale house.
So, what's been going on with you, Chris?
Honestly, dude, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah, Chris, a little hoarse today. A little hoarse.
Yeah, I played Superbowl weekend. In Laughlin.
For the Rams or the Patriots?
Yeah, I was the kicker.
It looked like you played for the Rams.
That shanked that shit off to the left. It was, honestly, I didn't even really watch the game.
Yeah.
Other than to know when my gig was going to start. Because we were
honestly,
right after
there wasn't much of a game. I was just there for the commercials at that point. So
I've been boycotting the NFL for 30-something years. All these people are like, I can't believe you're just figuring this out.
That, and I'm trying to get a couple of books ready to print.
Yes,
so that's been consuming. Any days that I'm not doing gigs, it's that.
Good times. So, see, we have officially been busy, people, but we're back, and we're here to talk about some nerd stuff. We're a little late to the party on some of this, but I will get into it. Let's jump into the stuff that's fresh a little bit. So, some of the high point commercials from the Super Bowl. Although, I mean, what do you really get in a 30-second spot? You know what I mean? It's not a whole lot. But let's talk the first and foremost. Let's talk about that Avengers Endgame little snippet we got. So
didn't give us much there.
No, I mean,
he's wearing his shield.
Wait, we did get Cap with the shield.
It did look like he was sitting in some kind of a rehab group, support group.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he looked a little sad there.
I mean, it had a definite Leftovers vibe. That show that was on HBO, So
yeah, for sure.
Well, and then it's kind of funny because it's got me thinking more and more. The more I like that trailer specifically, and I hope they touch on this, but it's yeah, Thanos took out 50% of the people, but there'd be a lot of tertiary deaths as well, because you got to think about everybody that was driving a car, all the pilots on a plane. Think about all of the immediate death and destruction that would have happened in that moment, you know? And then even worse, the suicide rate.
Oh,
would be through the roof.
Yes.
Like absolutely through the roof. I mean,
Definitely.
you're in a situation where quite literally there might only be like 40% of the world's population left in the first like year afterwards.
Yeah.
If you think about everything that could have gone wrong, you know.
This is a fun episode so far.
Dude, see, this is the things I think about when I go to the movies. Like, there would be a lot of other tertiary damage, you know.
That's why the motherfucker stands up in the middle of the theater and he's pacing back and forth.
Right?
And he's like fucking kind of holding his head, he's sweating and shit. He's like, he's having some anxiety attack. Needs to maybe vape something. Help him get through this movie, man. It's fucking heavy shit. But
well, some of these
you're
movies-
right. I mean, if you really fucking like,
break it down.
yeah. You know, I mean, fuck. It's one of they touched on in Leftovers. Like, there were families was like completely wiped out.
Right.
And there's just one person left. Man.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Fuck.
Mike, in my worst nightmare in that situation is like somehow like J.J. Abrams gets taken away, you know, and I don't get a ninth Star Wars movie. Like, could you imagine? Like, I couldn't even begin, you know.
Right.
But yeah, man. So, any other reactions? Anything that like stood out to you on that trailer?
Well, I mean, we Rocket's kind of walking,
Hanging out
around
with
Earth now, but like I said, you know, it's like, well, you know, when half the population disappears and you got this guy turns into this giant green monster and he's a god, and why not a walking, talking raccoon?
Right?
Fuck it. You
Seems
know?
legit
I
to
mean,
me.
just roll with it now.
Do you think
know?
he gets to be one of the Avengers at this point?
I think by default, sure.
Well, because he's like one of the only 8 people left on the planet, or what? You know, so we got some Hawkeye as well. That was great, right?
That's really one of the only things that I find exciting
He's-
about any of these trailers.
Is Hawkeye?
Yeah, I know it's as crazy as that sounds, but I want to see him come unglued. You know, I want to.
and just like shooting arrows,
Like he's Legolas, like
yeah, right. Like he's just killing orcs and shit. I mean,
you know,
listen, good
cool.
actor, cool character. Place in the Avengers still weird to me. Even he pointed it out himself. To me, he's one of those. He's one of those fucking second stringer.
So would you say, and well, since this was such a short spot, we don't have much to say about it. Would you say that he was the Aquaman of the Avengers movie?
He talks to the fishes. No, I mean, at least Aquaman has powers.
This is true.
You know, this guy he's just really fast with a fucking bow.
Yeah, that's
You
Well,
know?
that's a power.
I'll tell you what, I can fucking show you some people on YouTube that are just as fucking cool.
And they should be in the Avengers as well.
Exactly.
they're well, maybe they should do like a secondary Avengers with all dudes that just shoot arrows. Like
Right,
that could be
yeah.
their jam, you know?
Ooh, I like it. I like
It's
it.
like that Assassin's Creed thing.
Oh, that was a terrible movie.
Yeah, it
Did you
was
ever
not-
see that
that was
Fassbender
not
one?
Fucking sad that shit out.
It was. You did not miss much.
Most video games, if not all of them, don't fucking transpire to film very well.
No, not
So
especially.
I sit that crap out.
Yeah, I can't really think of, except for maybe the first Resident Evil. That was kind of fun until we got like the liquors in there, and then I'm like, this movie just came off the rails.
Which was funny because they made the liquor kind of the boss at the end.
Right.
Which the liquors were kind of, you know,
Nonsense,
trash.
nothing.
They were trash mobs, and if World of Warcraft, you know what I'm talking about.
They,
Trash mobs, not a boss.
that first Resident Evil movie, I still give it props. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Go back and watch it now though, and the CGI is terrible.
Oh yeah.
It's like like you get to the end and you're like, what the hell am I watching? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, look, it is February. We're literally 2 months from Avengers, and we're 1 month from Captain Marvel.
Right.
So it's like
That's what I'm looking forward to.
I mean,
And then, you know, we got Spider-Man.
yeah. Like this is it's the reboot year for the MCU
With fucking
Mysterio.
with Jake Gyllenhaal. Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay, I have a theory about Spider-Man Far From Home because it kind of made Mysterio like he was acting like he was a superhero. Are they literally just going to do the storyline from the first Incredibles? Like is that what they're going to do with him? Where he fakes being a hero, but he's really the bad guy all along?
right.
Because it kind of feels like that's what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not being like Judgy McJudgerson over here because, you know, who am I? But I'm like, if that's literally the plot for Spider-Man Far From Home, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. So, I'm just saying.
So you know what's really good? The Incredibles was super popular.
We
The kids
should
will love it.
We should do that. Yeah, and we're Disney. We already own it, so why the hell not, right?
Just suits up a little bit.
Change the names. It's all good.
That's it. It's just
Yeah.
like we're done.
They need a baby is what they need
Oh my God.
in Spider-Man.
Wasn't that his bud, Ned? Isn't Ned the baby?
he's definitely the baby.
But one of the things that it's funny with mentioning Spider-Man because Into the Spider-Verse did so well and was so fantastic.
Yes.
They had mentioned that they had originally had a scene in that had the Tobey Maguire, the Andrew Garfield, and the Tom Holland Spider-Man that they cut because it was like would have been too confusing for audiences. And I'm all, fuck you. Like, I wanted that. Like, that would have been the greatest. Right. Like, it's like, wait, it all counts. It all counts. Like, and at a certain point, it's like we never get the things we want,
Yeah.
Never get the
It
things.
might confuse them. Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, these are the same people that need their handheld at every waking moment of every film we watch,
And we have enough of those people. Maybe Thanos was right.
I think he was right.
Get rid of some of these dumbasses. fucking up our movies with your bullshit.
right. So let's talk a little bit though. We all saw Aquaman finally,
I
right?
did see Aquaman. I saw Aquaman. Took my boys to go see Aquaman.
Did the boys
have
like
I
it?
weighed in on this yet?
Let me tell you, man. One of them, by the end of the movie, was standing in his fucking seat, throwing the horns at the fucking screen. He loved it, dude. Couldn't get enough of it, man. Couldn't get enough. He loved it.
Ronald Andrew loved it too. Like,
I mean, because it's a fucking superhero movie.
absolutely.
It's a superhero movie.
Absolutely. And it's funny, it's like he fought against it. He's like, I don't want to watch Aquaman, Dad. I'm not interested. Like, let's like for weeks. And then I was like, we're just going, buddy. Like, sit down, shut up, we're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And then he like was all pouty. And I was like, we started like a half an hour in. I leaned over, I was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And he goes, no, I don't want to go. And I go, well, I'm gonna go pee. You should come because I'm not getting up again. And I know this is a slow part,
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'll just hold it. And he fucking sat there and he held it the entire like
That was a long
2 hours and 21-minute running time of that
I
film.
gotta tell you, there was one point. These fucking theaters with these reclining seats, you know what, might not be the best idea.
No? Why is that?
Because I don't know what happened to Manta. Because I nodded out because I was so fucking comfortable and relaxed in my seat that I completely
Are you
missed
sure
that
that's
scene.
why you fell asleep?
No, man.
Because I have another theory.
We'll hear Chris's theory, his wrong opinion about this.
Okay, so Steve and I both enjoyed the Aquaman, and we'll get into specifics in a moment. But Chris, why don't you give me your initial take on Aquaman?
It was fun. How about that?
That's all I get out of you?
Well, okay.
I'm trying to be positive here.
We're gonna go back. You said that the CGI was terrible.
It was, oh my God, it was Finding Nemo. It was like literally Finding Nemo stuck into the movie. It was so awful.
He's been saying this since the trailer where they're at the aquarium.
Right.
Okay. It was so awful.
The rest of the fucking movie, the CGI was fucking great.
I totally
they took
disagree.
A huge chance.
Yeah.
Making it look like it was underwater.
Well, they did some neat tricks in there.
And there was a lot of texture in that water and shit. I thought it looked fucking great, dude.
I bought it.
I have been one of the fucking biggest critics of CGI on this show. It is no goddamn fucking mystery.
Not a lie.
You could not do a movie like that with practical effects.
Well, of course
obviously.
not. Of course not.
I think they did fucking great with the CGI.
Yeah.
I thought it looked fucking cool.
I thought it looked
all
cheesy.
the different races looked fucking cool.
Yeah, it was fun, dude.
That battle at the fucking end was fucking rad, dude. All these fucking weird crab things blowing each other. Oh, I fucking loved it, dude.
I thought the last like 30 minutes of that film was so batshit insane that it worked. Like with every, like, especially like from the moment they're on the boat and they're getting attacked by the tribe of like little sea monster people, and I'm like, I just was like, this movie is like so far out there at this point, and I love it. And it just like, and then like, he's riding on like an underwater like dinosaur versus like seahorses, and there's like underwater alligators and some shit, and then a giant kraken shows up.
Oh my God! And the pineapple, it was amazing.
The pineapple?
Yeah, with the little sponge dude that lives in there. And he had a friend that was a starfish and an octopus that played the drums. And they were jamming with this little squid who was playing the clarinet.
So Chris was like obsessed with the octopus on the drums for like.
No, that was the point at which I go, holy shit, this is so stupid. And that was fairly early on that I was like, holy shit.
During the middle of
octopus playing the drums, I will admit, was pretty dumb, but it was such a flash of a scene.
Yes.
That the only
But it spoke volumes to me.
The only person who gave this such a fast scene any type of validity is Chris.
Look on the internet, dude. Look on the internet.
He had to fucking just listen. Most of the internet is just super fucking pissed. I'm gonna go back to a prior show. Okay, the internet is pissed that their fucking women want to fucking fuck Jason Momoa so bad, dude. And listen, you guys can roll your fucking eyes.
No.
It's the goddamn truth. Every fucking chick who watched that fucking movie, when he fucking comes on that submarine and he says permission to come aboard, every woman in the United States, across the world, probably just heard permission to come. That's it. Now they could fucking lie to you, right?
I was gonna say maybe it was like a 4D adventure where you're like, it's getting moist in here.
And this fucking upsets fucking people, dude. This upsets these guys, and they got to fucking hammer away with their probably greasy chicken fingers on their fucking keyboards, right? They haven't done a they wouldn't even know what a sit-up is. 48% fucking body fat, or they're a scrawny fuck. It upsets them, dude.
Well, I will say that you were not wrong that the women love Jason Momoa, because we did New Orleans Comic Con and he was the main guest there. Uh-huh. And what would you say, Chris? Like 1 out of every 3 people had a Jason Momoa photo.
Oh, he made a bank.
I mean, he's charging $150 per photo.
Hey, man.
Good for him, right? He can do it. But my wife and her sister were stalking him on Insta while we were in New Orleans, trying to figure out where he was at.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And he ate at the restaurant we ate dinner at like an hour later, because we drove by there the next day, and they were like, "Oh, he was there." And then there was a sign. What did it say? It's all Jason Momoa loves our pulled pork.
Yes.
And you know what? That movie, it gives us some eye candy.
Absolutely, man.
Ariel, or whatever her name is,
Mira.
Fucking cracking hot, dude.
Yeah.
That chick was fucking. I mean,
there was definitely some beautiful people in that film,
dude. Let me tell you, Nicole Kidman has aged beautifully, dude.
She definitely had some work done, though.
Sure.
Like, there's definitely some tightness in the cheeks. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like, if you can afford it, go for it,
Do it. But even at the end, when she comes out, she's been trapped in the void or whatever, and she's older, she still looked fucking hot as like I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Well, look, he gave us fucking Django Fett.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, if that fool is not like Rex or Cody in fucking goddamn episode 9, I'm out.
Dolph Lundgren's looking pretty goddamn good as the fucking king of that one fucking tribe.
That was my favorite part when we were watching with Elena, and she leans over and she goes, "Is that Rocky guy?" And I'm all, "Dolph Lundgren?" She goes, "I don't know he made movies anymore." And I'm all, "Yeah, he was just in the new Rocky as well." And she's all, "Really? That's really him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, baby, that's Dolph Lundgren."
Has she never seen The Expendables?
No, never.
The one character that I thought actually looked a little bizarre was oh crap, he escapes. He was training him as a boy.
Are you talking about William Dafoe?
William Dafoe.
Why didn't you like William Dafoe?
He looked over CGI'd. He looked a little too...
That's just how he looks.
He looks bizarre to begin with, but he looked very smooth.
Did you think it's because... I think it's because he had that top knot.
Yeah,
they had all
he was a good character. He always delivers, but something about him physically.
He was originally in Justice League, and they cut all his stuff out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there was in the original Snyder cut, he was a big part of it.
Okay.
And they cut, when Whedon came through, they cut all his scenes.
Oh, wow.
So, and he was... because Aquaman's such a big part of that, and that's one of the interesting things for me about the Aquaman film is that the director basically was like, Snyder had a lot of input on this, and we're going with his original vision of the Aquaman character, and not the one from the Justice League.
I mean, people say, "Oh, this is so over the top and shit," but it's like, yeah, of course it's gotta be.
Right.
It's got.
That was not my problem. Honestly, I felt like the CGI was a little cheesy, but that was not my big problem. My big problem is I literally sat there, and I'm not exaggerating, like 5 times throughout the movie, I leaned over and said the next line before the character did. It was so goddamn predictable that I nailed it like 5 times. I knew exactly what they were going to say. It's just shitty writing, and it killed me.
You know what, dude? Whenever they go ahead and fucking make a fucking superhero movie, like say maybe The Watchmen, that goes outside of
The norm.
Then they fucking hate it.
Right.
I disagree. Look at Logan.
Completes, you know?
Yeah, but Logan, I mean, it took them the first Wolverine movie, which was terrible. The second Wolverine movie, which was like at least watchable, you know, it was enjoyable.
I mean, look at my fucking sideburns. I love Wolverine.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But it took definitely some time to get there.
Right. That was not like it took 5 movies, 2 of which were watchable to get to that point, you know, actually 6 movies to get to that point where you're like, I want to see this awesome film, you know?
Yes.
And I think that I think that once again, and I already said this, I think that Aquaman was the superhero movie made for the Fast and Furious crowd. And
Absolutely.
and I think that your enjoyment of Fast and Furious, if you enjoyed those movies, directly would correlate to whether or not you enjoyed Aquaman.
Which is funny because honestly, I'm not a big fan of those Fast and the Furious movies, but I like this. And like I keep going back to, and this is what these fucking nerds, geeks and dorks need to realize, man, especially you aging guys.
It's not for you.
It's not for us anymore.
Right,
That's
right.
kind of the whole premise of our show here, too. As I sit there and watch my 2 6-year-olds fucking bug out on this shit, like
Right.
I would have at 6 years old, go back and watch fucking Flash Gordon today.
It was terrible.
It's a terrible movie.
But when I was fucking 6,
Greatest movie ever.
I had snuck, me and my buddy had, well, maybe I wasn't 6, maybe I was a little bit older. We snuck a tape recorder in there and just recorded the sound of the movie. We used to just play this on this crappy tape deck as we played our action figures.
I don't know that I've ever heard that story before. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we had it on fucking cassette tape.
Well,
dude.
that's like
some commitment right there.
that's like I introduced my son to The Black Hole, which was like one of my favorite movies growing
Love
up.
that fucking movie.
He could barely get through it. He was just
that
like,
movie is slow as fuck, dude.
well, he just was sort of like, oh, okay. Like he enjoyed the robots because they were very like R2-D2, you know.
Right.
But it's like at a certain point, I'm like, you know, there were parts of it he enjoyed, but there are things that are like specific for you in a time period and a place.
Yes.
And I think the spectacle of that worked for me as a young kid. I don't know that it worked for him as much. And I think that Aquaman, like once again, the last 30 minutes of that movie are so batshit insane.
Yeah.
Like when you sit down and you're like, so dude went in to the center of the earth and fought the Kraken.
Right.
To get the trident so he could come back with an army of sea creatures. Because apparently, like, what we've been mocking him about this whole time is, like, what makes him special, which is dude can talk to fish.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. He's the only one who could talk to that Kraken.
Right.
Except for the first king.
Right.
You know?
And so Ocean Master shows up with his army and gets his ass handed to him by the creatures of the sea.
Yes.
And when you watch that sequence, you're like, dude, this is over the top crazy good.
Right, right.
And just in such an unbelievably fun way.
Right.
And it's one of those things where every fight sequence to me worked. I, at a certain point, stopped caring that they were underwater, which I think was the hardest thing because you were like, you know, at a certain point, I was with you. At first, I'm like, the hair's floating. That's cool.
Right.
But then they played a little trick on us midway through where everybody had the little top knot. Everybody except Aquaman's hair was tied back.
Yeah.
So then it was like, oh, so now I don't need to make the hair flow, but I'm still buying into the underwater
right,
thing,
yeah.
you know? But that, like, at a certain point, I didn't care that they were talking to each other, you know? And I love the fact that only the highborns, for some unexplained reason, could live outside of water. So then you got all these cool ass Atlanteans in their suits running around on dry land,
Right.
you know. And even though the moment in the toilet was a bit dumb, it was still pretty cool. Like they're all running around, you know, and it makes them vulnerable. They're fucking pew, laser shooters and such, but. But yeah, man, like I enjoyed the shit out of it, but I enjoyed the.
What an amazing scene where he was telling her about Pinocchio when they were inside the whale, and they show up on shore. It was so awesome. the fucking book was there. It just happened to be at that farmer's market, and he brought it over. Or he actually gave it to a kid, some random fucking kid. Here, go give this to her. That was awesome. That was my favorite part. So stupid. It was
It's
so
it's
stupid.
It's like the smallest scenes
Right.
are.
But
know,
it's
You were literally
the entire movie was like that.
No.
Every single moment had
You were-
something you go, wait, what?
You were literally the person that went to the Star Wars re-release and was like, Han shot first. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. You just
No,
raped
dude.
my
No,
childhood.
no.
You just 2 seconds of screen time just destroyed Star Wars. And it's like, no.
If it were one moment,
Yeah.
like just the octopus, sure. But when I'm watching, every single scene has
Did
like
you feel
a couple
hold
of
on,
these
hold on.
moments.
Did you feel the same way in Guardians of the Galaxy when Howard the Duck showed up?
Yes. I thought it was fucking stupid.
Well, then you were no fun as a human being. And
Howard the
you-
Duck is lame, dude.
What, you just.
I mean, it was kind oh, look, there's Howard the Duck. But I'm like,
you have no.
that just
sense
took me out of the
fun.
movie.
You have no sense of fun, no
No,
enjoyment
dude,
of life.
it's not a matter of that. You just took me out of that moment with something that completely is bullshit.
Yeah, but
this is that moment where out of nowhere a character looks at the audience and breaks the fourth wall when that is not something that's part of the movie like
The
Deadpool.
octopus didn't look at you and wave.
It totally did. Didn't you see the tentacles go, "What's up, motherfucker?"
No.
It totally did. Watch it again. It's so stupid. I'm baffled.
He likes serious things.
I know.
Like Schindler's List.
Exactly.
No, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'll agree. There is something to that. And this is why, like, when I hear like the call for Black Panther to get Oscar nods, and I'm like, yeah, cool, but how the fuck are you going to nominate that movie when something like Logan, that you would consider an actual film, didn't get a nod? To me, it just seems unbalanced, and it seems like just because it's a superhero movie doesn't mean it has to have like goofy fucking nonsense in it. I mean, you still have to have a believability to
honestly, like, we talked about this in the beginning of I think when we started making this show, and I think they started talking about the Aquaman movie. I mean, listen, it is a fucking goof ass character to begin with.
Yes.
So
You got a lot of hurdles to jump.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna say, okay, we got a goof ass character, we're gonna make some goofy ass shit in this movie.
Right.
They didn't
rolled
commit to the
with it.
goofy ass shit. Is the
I
problem.
would disagree with that.
I would too.
I think they really
were
committed
pretty
to it.
committed.
It wasn't meant to be
know.
funny. It was.
Yeah, but
it was goofy
The designs and the
without
concepts,
trying to be funny.
the designs and the concepts of the Aquaman world, as it were in themselves kind of goofy, kind of fun,
Yes,
I mean, but like all the Atlantean stuff, you think about like Black Manta. Like the first moment with the helmet, and it's like, I'm gonna need a bigger helmet. Like they were
so
leaning into the
dumb.
goofiness of
Okay,
that outfit,
and,
dude.
And did I already talk about this on air?
No.
About the seats.
Where you fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
I nodded out. I don't know what happened, man.
Well, did you stay through the end credits too?
No, I had the boys, dude.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was like, we got to go to the
He shows
bathroom.
back up. So he got knocked
Right.
off he got like they were fighting in the town.
I thought he looked great.
Right?
His fucking helmet, his costume was fucking really good.
Did you see
dude.
when he had the Atlantean steel and he was able to stab Aquaman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like right after that, he like fell off the side of the cliff and fell into the water and disappeared. And then he showed up again in the end credits,
Yeah,
and
he
it was
was
the
great.
dude from Fresh Off the Boat who was Kim Jong Il in the interview. He basically was like had saved Black Manta, and they were putting his helmet back together, and he's like, I wouldn't do that, and he like shoots through the roof, and then he was like, you help me fix this, and you help me kill Aquaman, and we'll be a team, and
then
that was it.
And then like Dennis Rodman showed up.
Yeah,
and
and then
put this all together.
and he dunked. It was great.
Yeah,
It was good
it's
times.
cool, dude.
yeah.
I didn't even stay.
You didn't stay for the
No, I didn't.
credit stuff?
That's all news to me. At that point, I looked at my wife and I'm like, I gotta fucking go. I can't sit here anymore.
It's because your prostate. And
It's
you were
probably
like,
what it was. Probably
like
what
I
it
gotta
was.
run to the
Very
bathroom.
slow at
Yeah,
the time.
prolapse your anus.
Large.
Is that why?
My prostate was enlarged.
I just look. I here's my only thing is
I thought of all the DC stuff I've seen, this is up there with Wonder Woman for me.
I mean
I
like
thought
no.
Wonder Woman was great.
I honestly,
That was
this
goofy too.
this might be
Yes.
this might be my least favorite. I think No, Suicide Squad's pretty bad.
Suicide Squad was horrible.
But I almost would rather watch that than watch this again.
Wow, man. At least the bad guy characters looked fucking decent in this.
I even went back
cool.
and in preparation for this, rewatched all of the DC movies over the holidays.
Oh,
Jesus
okay.
Christ, man.
I just wanted to see him again because some of them I hadn't watched since the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
So I really like Man of Steel. Like I love that movie.
I
think
too.
Even though it's like sulky Superman, like knowing now, because have you seen all the stuff that's been coming out about like, because Snyder's basically like, well, I'm out, and basically Aquaman did well, so I'm going to continue to release like what would have been my story. And so they keep releasing like all of these details about like what he was planning, what he would have done. He originally did not want Batman to be a part of it. He just wanted to tell a tale with Superman. Then they forced the Batman Superman story onto him, so he was like fine. So then he wrote like this whole arc where it would have been the Justice League we got but different. Darkseid would have been at the end of that. The second one would have been, and instead of Superman saving the day, Green Lantern would have saved the day. The second one would have taken them into outer space, into Apocalypse, where they would have fought like on their planet, but then they would have lost. And then the third one, they would have come back to Earth that would have been completely destroyed by Apocalypse, and they would have basically had to fight to save Earth and then do time travel to like bring the world back. So kind of they were making Infinity War, which was like even weirder, like their own version of it. But he had an arc, and he had it all planned out, like, you know, like 7 or 8 years ago, and they just abandoned it all, you know. And I think for me it's like watching those going point by point, because my first look at Justice League, I was like, I liked it, and then I went back and rewatched it. I'm all, that movie's like horribly uneven. Like it's like you can totally see like the Joss Whedon scenes in it, and it like and then when I went back, now that I saw Aquaman, I'm like, the character's inconsistent, you know, because of the stuff Whedon added. So I just, you know, but I would agree. Like at the end of the day, Suicide Squad is easily the worst of the bunch. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. And there are such good moments in it.
Yes,
but man, it is like
as
almost
a film,
unredeemably bad at the end. And all the stuff with Enchantress, I don't need any of this. Like this is all pointless.
Yeah, and the shit people just I don't get where they were going.
Well, and it's funny because
they phoned that shit in
big time. That was some of the worst fucking.
You know what it looks like when your computer like glitches and the character like wigs out.
It's
and
all pixelated.
Yeah.
That was
the plan.
Worst bad guy henchman
what was
I've
that?
ever seen in a movie.
Go back, do that again.
Right?
That's our bad guy.
Fucking so terrible.
Well,
man.
and then what's even funnier is like. I can't get your voice out of my head now when I go to see a movie and there's like the random like scourge of henchmen. And all I hear is Steve going, "Really? This is what you've designed?" Like I just hear your voice now, and it like won't go away.
It's so frustrating.
Which is why I liked and appreciated the Atlanteans in the badass exosuits.
They look cool
in Aquaman, and it's like because you were like, oh, that's a little different. Like they all got their swords and their laser guns and shit. You know,
I'll give you that. There were some creative moments in the design process.
Sure.
Again, my big gripe is the writing. The writing was just hacky to me. It was just not good. It was totally predictable. Sure. You knew as soon as Nicole Kidman, they said she's gone, she was sent to the, oh, okay, well, he's going to go find her there. Like, nothing surprised me about this goddamn movie. Not one moment.
You didn't like when they jumped out of the plane? Because I thought that was fun.
No, because I saw it on the previews.
Okay, fair enough.
Nothing. The only thing that would have been a surprise was that. Everything else was 100% like telegraphed or expected. And that was the big problem I had with
I didn't think
movie.
the Leviathan was like the last, like you say that, but the last 20 minutes for me was like, I did not expect any of that. And it was, and I even saw this shit at Comic-Con and I was like, I didn't see that coming. Like that was a blast.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing is you wanted more complex story beats and you just weren't going to get it in Aquaman.
No, man, I wanted better writing.
No, they got too hard of a time. They got to sell you. Like, once again, they literally were like, how can we make Aquaman cool? Well, we'll just make him call Drogo. Like, we're going to make him call Drogo and then make him sort of like he's part of an MC, you know?
No, dude, he's Keanu Reeves. in every movie.
What are you talking about?
I'm
No,
like
no.
John Wick 3, dude. Like,
No,
what
no,
are you-
not John
Dude,
Wick.
Constantine.
Keanu Reeves. Like Keanu Reeves in Much Ado About Nothing, or Keanu Reeves in Bill and Ted.
Where he's like, I am so excited to be here.
That's
Shakespeare.
exactly.
Bill and Ted's a fucking awesome movie.
Right? And I'm still waiting for my Bill and Ted 3, by the way.
Yeah, it's coming.
Part 2, dude. Fucking death, man.
Best 3 out of 5.
You have sunk my battleship. Fuck, I can't get enough of his fucking ass, dude. He's so fucking great. That
And they're
guy.
Twister, and he like falls, and he's like, best 5 out of 7.
That was back when I was younger and I smoked a lot of pot.
Yeah, I don't
dude.
know if you watch that now, you would
Quite-
appreciate it as
quite
much.
pot.
I would
I've
disagree.
Never laughed so hard in my life, dude.
I think if Steve watched it now, he'd really enjoy the shit out of it. It's-
Probably
I don't know.
would.
I don't know. Yeah, definitely right at the moment, for sure.
I'm gonna watch Son-in-Law too, dude, with Pauly Shore.
Oh Jesus, that's pretty rough.
It's
That and
fucking
Biodome. And,
Oh, Biodome is okay.
Encino Man, dude.
Encino Man was fun.
No,
I'll
we
give you
didn't
that.
How are you gonna hate on
Goose.
Biodome? dude?
Encino Man holds up. I don't know about the Biodome.
Biodome is not my
No.
favorite Pauly
No.
Shore
Dude,
movie. I'll be
they
honest.
dance with the
dude.
midget like in the Biodome. Like,
And Son-in-Law was pretty hacky
and
too.
don't you remember my favorite part of Biodome when they're dancing with the midget and he was all, Thor, look at my hands, Thor.
That's just wrong.
We're gonna go back and we'll have a Keanu Reeves and a Pauly Shore fucking weekend of movies.
Damn straight, man. Damn straight. I would watch the shit out of a Keanu Reeves, Pauly Shore movie.
But yeah, you know, with Carl Drogo, fucking what's his name, Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, dude. I mean, fucking, sex fucking sells, and he's fucking hot right now. They
Right.
know it. Cast that motherfucker.
It's just not
dude.
a good movie. It's
You know?
it's popcorn, and I totally
I mean, all
accept
these
that.
Fucking, you know, well, not all. There's, you know, the exception like Logan, but all these fucking superhero movies, and that's my biggest thing about the Black Panther thing with the Oscar stuff. It's like, I'm sorry, man. It's just a fucking superhero movie. I don't see any Oscar worthiness.
Yeah,
to it.
I mean, I think it.
They're like the score. I
Yeah,
don't really remember the score too. But I don't with most movies anyways.
Right.
It's
Right.
gotta be the goddamn Imperial March to get my fucking ears up. What?
Yeah, most movies. I mean, you think about the last great news score we
Jaws
had.
or something, you know.
I think the Avengers, like the Alan Silvestri stuff from
Yeah.
Avengers, has been pretty
I think I
good.
have that, dude.
Yeah,
I
I
listened to it one time, and I gotta tell you, dude, I wasn't like, let's fuck to this.
is that the benchmark for you?
It's good
Pretty
work.
much.
It's good workout
Yeah,
music for me.
dude, Yeah. Well, that's why I also got it too,
Yeah.
to work out to it.
That and like the Tron Legacy soundtrack. I absolutely love the Tron Legacy
Jesus
soundtrack.
Christ, I could see
Dude,
it just, like, doing fucking
Stranger Things.
Mr. Roboto and shit, dude. I remember when we were at Comic-Con, went to the Tron bar.
Yeah, dude.
It was rad, but I gotta tell you, after a while, I was like, man, you want to turn this fucking goddamn
It was
soundtrack
all-
down? Yeah, what were those fucking two guys that wear the helmets?
Daft Punk, dude.
Hans and Franz.
It's not
Pretty
on-
fucking much. or the fucking Sprocket.
So Sprockets.
You guys are assholes. All right, so here's my question. Like after Aquaman, now are we more or less excited for what's to come with DC?
What's to come? This fucking imploded.
Well, they got
All you've got is Wonder Woman.
Shazam. You got Shazam coming out.
I'm fucking so not looking forward to that.
Really?
At all. Nothing
I mean,
about that fucking
you've got
movie.
Big. You
it's
could watch Big.
It's big
Yeah,
with superheroes.
I get it.
And he's like a kid, but then he's like an adult.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I got pubes.
I hate that fucking suit, and it's crazy.
The only thing that
they
makes me
spent
look
$1 million
forward to it,
on that suit.
it's
dude.
Zachary
Did
Levi.
they really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
$1 million. American.
I'm excited for it.
That's not pesos. American money. That's fucking a lot of money for a fucking stupid suit. It looks fucking goofy.
It glows, like the little thing glows.
Once again,
And
dude,
he's
will
like,
I
he's a
see
kid.
it? Absolutely, because I got two little guys who are just like, we gotta go to everything. Oh my god!
He like charges the guy's phone. He's all
They,
pew.
they cannot wait for fucking Hellboy, the new oh fuck,
Really?
dude. Oh, absolutely. And I gotta tell you, and this is coming from the mouth of children. We just watched the originals of Ron Perlman, and they flat out said the new one looks better.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
I think it does. I think he looks a little bit more demonic.
I'd say that the
Well,
only
I go back, I watch the other one, and it looks like Ron Perlman painted red.
sure because he had that giant jaw in the new
Yes.
one. David Harbour does not have that giant jaw in the same way.
He does not. But there's something about like their scar on his face and the contacts they're yellow, but they're a little bit darker.
Right.
He looks a little bit more demonic. I think it looks fucking cool. I can't wait. The boys can't wait. And that is my benchmark for shit. When the little guys are like, dude, we got to go see that.
Right.
This is, like we said, this is who they're selling to.
Absolutely.
This is the generation.
Absolutely. And I think that
we're just the guys who got to flip the bill for it.
There you go. You're like our
But
parents.
but listen, we're not buying the fucking merch. Oh, yeah, you got your collector.
Sure.
But for the most part,
The toys.
yes, they're buying the merch. They're going to wear the little T-shirts. They're going to, all that crap, dude.
Look, and my son who loves, like, he's now been introduced to his own comic books, totally told me all about Aquaman and Black Manta. Was like, Dad, that was Black Manta. I go, how do you know Black Manta? He goes, well, he's in my comic books you got me. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. And so, I mean, he's 6, dude, and he's excited about it, and that makes me excited,
Right.
And I always put it to you this way, Chris. Think about when we were kids, we would have killed for this movie.
Maybe.
Would have absolutely killed for this movie.
Any of these.
Yeah.
Any of these.
And
But
these
again,
these kids are living in the golden age.
It doesn't make it
The golden age.
good.
Of superheroes.
It just makes
Absolutely.
it palatable to a kid.
Well, but I mean, once again, think about some of the movies we grew up with, and I think some
They
of them
weren't fucking good. But
I
man,
mean,
they were
fucking Barney was popular too, but I ain't watching that shit
I'm
either.
talking about like movies. Like I always
Okay.
go back to like Dragon Slayer. Like
Oh,
Dragon Slayer
yeah.
to me, I love that movie, and I don't know that it's a great movie as an adult.
That movie holds up, dude.
But I think I.
Are we talking about the Matthew McConaughey's?
No,
No.
that's
Or the
old one with
okay.
Timothy McNichol
Yes,
with the
yes,
afro,
yes.
the
Yeah,
white guy
yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah.
afro,
Uh-huh.
and he's like the assistant.
Peter
McNichol. There we
Yeah.
go. But yeah,
I think that movie holds up. I can still watch
Chris
that.
American Hero, right?
different. Guy.
No, Peter McNichol is
Same fro,
is-
different
Same
guy.
fro.
Ally
Is,
McBeal,
yes, and the
Yes.
second Ghostbusters.
second Ghostbusters. He was
You are like the buzzing of flies to Vigo.
exactly. And they announced they're doing a third Ghostbusters.
Can't
Shit, dude! How did we miss that?
fucking wait, man.
We didn't even talk about that in the pre-show.
Can't wait, dude.
And here's the thing: did you read the synopsis at all that they put out?
Not at all.
So it's basically like 2 kids are excited about the Ghostbusters and like try to rekindle it in some way, shape, or form. So they're
Really?
literally doing exactly what we said. Like when they announced the other all women's Ghostbusters, I was like, well, why didn't they just make it a continuation
Right.
with the old generation training a new generation?
Yeah.
And just bring all the old guys back. And I mean, Harold Ramis would have been alive at that point. So
Right.
Yeah.
Such a loss.
So
Love that little fucking, that little trailer we got.
yeah, dude, that was great. The little teaser.
Looking at the barn. You go, what the fuck is that for?
Right? Little Slimer action on the
Little-
the fence
little
posts and everything.
fucking- yeah, a little
yeah.
something going on.
Little
Coming in on it. Oh, dude, so fucking.
like, look, Dan
Yeah.
Aykroyd will be in because that dude does everything, right?
Yeah, dude.
Like
He's like, will there be craft services? I'm there. Listen.
and then Ernie Hudson, you're like, well, what else? I'm sure he's been making some made-for-TV Hallmark movie he can be pulled away from.
Sure.
You just got to get Bill Murray. That's the only hard one,
Yeah.
And Harold Ramis's ghost can show up for a hot second.
Oh.
They could use some old footage of him. From,
That would be dope.
That would
something.
be fucking cool, man.
He
That
just
would be
waves.
cool.
You're all, oh, hey.
Yeah.
But
Fucking Egon, man.
and then the hardest one, I think, you got to get Rick Moranis though.
He ain't gonna do it.
Got to get that dude out of retirement.
Well, no, he's done a couple things in the last couple years.
He did the voiceover on that 80s
I gotta
sitcom
respect
thing
him for why he did it.
for his family, right?
Yeah.
He just was like, I'm retiring to be with my kids.
Yeah.
It's like I got
Kids are
enough money.
grown. Get back to work.
Yeah, no shit, right, man. Coming
Well,
like you're 60 years old.
Dude, listen. You got that kind of fucking money sitting in the bank. I ain't fucking doing shit anymore either, man. It's
true. Just hang out.
Fuck it, yeah.
Go work at the Pacoima
I
Playhouse
have, yeah.
and just be left
I just be
alone,
drinking
right?
Miami Vices all the time and shit, dude. What's that? What's like a fucking Slurpee with rum in it? It's fucking delicious.
Did you discover something on your cruise?
I did. I had
Wow.
many of them, dude. Many of them. I just needed a cup that said icy.
Nice.
Nice. You put some fucking pineapple on the lip of that motherfucker, and I'm good to go.
Sorry, my child just jumping on the bed above us.
Jesus Christ.
So-
Are you sure?
So back to the DCEU though. So what we have left, I know we got another Harley. We got the Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah.
They
You've
just-
got the Wonder Woman coming out this
Got
year.
Wonder Woman 84.
Though I was not a fucking fan of Suicide Squad. I am a fan of her.
Margot Robbie Margot Robbie and Will Smith were the two, and I would even say Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang.
You put Margot Robbie
Oh, he was
in a fucking
annoying.
pair of fucking hot shorts, dude.
You're in.
Fucking A, man. She could just be twirling around that baseball bat all fucking for an hour and a half, dude. I'll sit there for an hour and a half watching her do that.
Well, we
dude.
saw she has the croquet mallet in the new one,
Man.
so.
She could fucking... Whew.
Well, and then we know we're getting another Suicide Squad. James Gunn is writing and directing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean,
He's known for his writing.
a little bit.
Everybody's got
in
jokes.
many facets of his
Everybody's got
writing.
jokes.
So, but then we also got that goofy ass Joker, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie coming out.
Do we need this?
You know,
I mean, it might be great. I like him. He's a good actor.
I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor.
But do we
I
need-
also said that about Jared Leto.
You know what? I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I didn't mind his Joker. I think they had some goofy choices with like his costuming.
You mean because they were like, you know who's cool? D'Antwerp. We should make.
You know who's fucking cool? A band called Insane Clown Posse. You know, the kids really like to fucking like tattoo their faces these days, make it look like a shitty peachy folder from the fucking 8th grade.
But I think his
So let's
performance
fucking
was
roll with
fine.
that.
I didn't have a
Yeah.
problem with him as the Joker. There was something that was kind of
I
cool.
thought
and
he was overacted it, but that
maybe a
was just
little.
me.
But
I think the extended edition of Suicide Squad, you get more Joker in it, so I think it's more palatable.
I mean, I like those kind of fucking villains. I mean, I get tired of Ultron.
yeah,
I get tired of, you know,
Ares and whatever the
so
guy from
you know, you got this
Justice League
You got
was.
this fucking
Steppenwolf.
this
Steppenwolf.
street level fucking criminal.
Yeah.
I love
He's
that.
just on a fucking level of brilliance where he's not just 2 steps ahead of you, he's fucking 5.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of cool.
I think it's one of the things, though, I liked about Infinity War was Thanos. To me, was a different kind of villain. you know,
Absolutely.
where he was a little more.
Thanos is not a villain.
You don't think so? You think he's the hero of that tale?
He's a visionary.
Steve, are you starting to get behind? You a son of Thanos over there? Is that what I'm hearing? So.
I also really liked his henchmen.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh my god!
The children
dude,
of Thanos were
Children of
dope.
Thanos were so fucking cool. Looking.
They look cool. They all had like, you know, cool shit going on.
Yes.
You know,
each of them were different.
Squidward was there, and
Squidward. That's
so
funny.
fucking
the fucking
cool.
the orc from Warcraft, and little elf, little dark
Yeah.
elf guy. So
Yeah, it was fucking cool, man. So
I just look. At the end of the day, I'm with you. I dig a good street level villain,
yeah,
which is what I think Suicide Squad messed up on.
Yeah.
was, why are we sending in a group of dudes with bats and guns and boomerangs to fight the Enchantress?
yeah.
You know, that, and then, you know, in her army of fucking cavity monsters, you know.
You know what I did watch recently that was really freaking good?
What's that?
Luke Cage season 2.
Still haven't finished it.
Dude, what's the woman who plays the big bad?
I don't remember.
What, is
her
it
name.
Alfred Woodard?
Yes, there you go.
She is phenomenal in this. She is the most evil bitch you'll ever see in probably any comic book story. She is so great.
I've been watching a lot of Pornhub.
Well, there's that.
I found out that if you're seeing a girl that's got a stepbrother, you should probably bounce.
Not so much the good one.
It seems to be every porn these days is your stepbrother effing the chick. his
There's a lot
sister.
of
It's very strange.
relations.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been watching.
Wasn't that something that happened in like the 70s with the Taboo series?
Yeah, a little bit. Speaking of taboo things, so did any of you guys get a chance to watch the Mortal Engines at all?
No, man. I saw that commercial and I was like, that was enough for me.
Well, I took it upon myself to watch this movie on digital, and it was wow, it was bad.
Was it?
Well, it was Star Wars. First
Yes.
off, like they were like Peter Jackson was like, you know, he's like, with his little Kiwi accent. He's like, it's gonna make a movie. He thought, let's do Star Wars, but we'll do it with, you know, like
Does
a
he sound
driving
like that?
city, you know? Yeah, that's how he talks. You know?
Does he really?
Absolutely.
I did not know that.
Have you never seen any of it? You've never
No.
watched the 9 hours of appendices on the Lord of the
You
Rings
are
extended
right.
editions? Dude, and it's like he's like, you know, it's like some goblins and some orcs, and they're gonna come over here and fight, and you know, and literally, I could see him pitching this to the Fox executive, who is like, you know, doing his coke, and he's all, and then it's a giant city, and it's London.
And the executive keeps saying, "You did Lord of the Rings movies, right?
He's like, yeah, but
Those are huge,
this
right?
is a different movie. It's completely different.
But you made a lot of money."
Yes, it made a lot of money.
Oh, okay, yeah, keep going.
And he's like,
I like that.
so there's a girl and a guy, and
I like that.
They get kicked out of
They're
London.
they're gonna fuck.
But no. Well, no.
yet?
But she's got a big scar,
Uh-huh.
and then she's gonna wear like a thing, makes her look like a ninja. She's like a ninja.
So she looks like she's been injured, probably by a man. We'll get the Me Too crowd in here.
They love it. They love it.
Hashtags.
Yes, of course,
That's
of course.
popular.
But yeah, and then we're gonna get we're gonna get Mr. Smith from the Matrix movies. We love him.
Yes,
He's in that?
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
What
in
was
that.
he thinking?
This is why he wasn't in a fucking Avengers.
That's not what he said.
He said, "I'm too busy making this
Mortal Engines."
Mortal Engines. You have to have somebody else do my Red Skull."
I will say that the CG is not terrible, but the concept of basically giant cities driving around.
I mean, listen, when you're
so
going to see a
stupid.
Peter Jackson movie, I mean, they're not gonna slack you on the CG at all.
Not at all. Weta did a great job with
Yeah.
that.
I don't know,
So
dude. Those
amazing.
Hobbit movies were kind of janky.
Well, only because they wasted perfectly good practical effects and like overlaid CG on top of the badass orcs.
Yeah, I gotta admit, by the time we got to the fucking Hobbit movies, they really
Oh, it was
the Lord of the
unwatchable.
Rings, the Lord of the Rings orcs were so much fucking better.
Right. Well, but this movie, look, if you ever just want to watch somebody blow $100 million on something that nobody in their right mind would ever want to watch, like throw this on. And this isn't like Gods of Egypt bad or anything like that, where you're watching it and you're like, who made this? This is terrible. This is a movie that somebody took some TLC with and had some ideas and put something together on film, and it just, like, what a train wreck. It just in like ways I can't describe. And they thought they had the next big thing with this.
Yes, they did.
They really were like, we're gonna build this universe, and people are gonna love the Predator City universe with London eating other cities. And
Sounds so stupid. Like, this is Aquaman bad. It's
no,
just so
Aquaman,
stupid.
Like, I literally watched these two movies on the same day.
Oh,
So
good God.
it just was not. And I don't even know how to like steer you away from it, because you should at least try the first half hour out, and then you realize the acting's not great in it. But it just, what a weird confluence of movies or ideas, and at a certain point you say to yourself, you're like, somebody really thought this was going to be a good idea. Like, they really did. And I just don't know how.
Drugs.
It's got to be it. Either that, or they just figure, I mean, what else can we do? We have this dude who
you know
fucking
what?
lives
Or
under
you
the
know what?
water.
You know what they're doing too?
Why
Is
not?
like, you know, they're saying Peter Jackson. You know, hey, big stuff. Maybe, you know, James Cameron. You know, did that. What was that last one he did?
Avatar.
Oh, we could take a chance. Like
You know what though? I agree. Avatar was, if you think about it, it's kind of really freaking goofy.
They took a big chance on that one. Came out big on that.
Yeah.
And now not Peter, but
Look at
James Cameron's
Twilight.
New one is Alita Battle Angel.
That was
Twilight-
a tank, dude.
Oh, yeah, that
Well,
did not.
I mean,
do
I
it.
It hasn't
don't
come out yet.
understand why they had to run it through a fucking Snapchat filter
yeah.
to give her these big goofy eyes, but whatever.
Well, isn't
it's
she
a
supposed to
choice.
look mecha?
A little.
Is that Mecha now to have big eyes? I think
She's supposed to look like manga, not mecha.
But no, she's supposed to not look human.
Yeah, she's supposed to look like, but they wanted her to look like a manga character,
Yeah.
a manga character, you know.
Manga.
And it's like, I mean, it could be good. You never know. It could be good, but I doubt it. But it could be good.
you know, it's one of those ones I'm not running out to the theater to see.
No, it's probably a VOD movie for me.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I don't know. If I had Movie Pass, I'd go. But you
Movie
know.
Pass.
Here it comes again.
If I had a Movie Pass, I'd go see a lot of these crappy movies, but I don't. So my hard-earned dollars only go to things that are good. All right, let's talk real quick. Anybody got a dumb shit? Because I got a dumb thing I got a dumb shit. So allow me to share.
Why don't you start? Because I definitely can always come up with something.
So my son, God bless him, he's a wonderful child.
Which God? Which?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know, so we're Catholic God. So
Very good.
The Pope. No, but anyways, I came downstairs a couple Sundays ago, Steve, and he had like pulled out something out of the cabinet and dumped it all over the chess table. Like a seasoning of some sort. And I'm like, where did you get this? And he goes, Dad, I don't know. And I'm like, and I was like, all right. So, and I'm like, okay, well, you need to, this is fucking unacceptable. Go get this and clean up your mess. And he's like, don't do it again. Okay, Dad. So like the week later, I come back down on Sunday and I'll be damned if he didn't do it again. And I was like, you little son of a bitch. Like you get over here. You're in trouble now. Dad voice time. So I go, where did this come from? And he goes, I don't know, Dad. He said, maybe a baby snuck in.
A baby.
Maybe a baby snuck in and dumped this shit all over, like dumped this stuff on the table. And I was like, I don't think so, son. Where did you get this? Called the mom in, like we yell at him and he's in trouble and he will not tell the truth of like what he dumped on the table. So I was like, all right, you know what? I've had just about enough of you, son. It's been raining and there's weeds outside. So I sent him outside to weed the yard for 5.5 hours. This boy. Wow. He was in deep shit, deep trouble. And I was very disappointed in him. So I cleaned it all up and then I went to work. And when I came out for work the next morning, there's shit all over the table again. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure that wasn't my son at this point. So I got out the flashlight and I looked at the ceiling and yeah, we got termites. So,
wait, dumb shit my kid did?
That's dumb shit Ron did.
Holy shit. You punished your kid. Ah! That's fucking awesome.
So Dad,
I didn't do this.
But maybe
you liar.
Maybe a baby snuck in. What's
A
like
fucking baby snuck in here. That's fucking genius too, dude.
So then,
what are they like fucking gnomes? Fucking gremlins? Get out of here with your baby snuck in here.
My favorite part was at a certain point he obviously just wanted to be out of trouble. So we're like, tell the truth. And he said, I piled pillows up to crawl up into the cabinet to get the spices.
Shit.
To which I then went, we had to like pull him aside. I go, all right, so tell the truth. Did you actually dump anything on the table? And he said, no. And I said, well, why didn't you just say that in the first place?
You were waterboarding this fucking poor kid. Told you fucking started the Chicago fires.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh.
Torture does not work, and I am the worst parent ever.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's my dumb shit. But it's my dumb shit Ron did. So good times. Chris, what do you got for us?
It's just, again, all roads lead to Darien. So I won't even go into the fact that it's like the coldest week of the year and she's running around in like tube tops and sports bras and whatnot. It's
How
like,
old is she now?
She's like 21.
Bless her heart.
Yeah, guys,
No, dude.
now.
No, you know what?
What's her Insta?
Yeah, right. No, and it's one thing if you're like, it's warm out, fine. But it's like she's freezing. She's freezing and still wearing this stuff. It's like, what are you doing? No, but that's not even it. My wife has a habit of sending the older girls to the grocery store at a moment's notice when we need something.
Yes.
And Lauren is pretty good. Lauren's thing is she'll come back with like extra shit that nobody said anything about. Like, oh, we need these double stuffed Oreos. Mm-hmm. I just knew we had to have them, So it's like all these extra, things she'll come back with.
Does she have a vape pen?
No.
You might want to check it.
No. But this is dumb shit my wife does because you should know you're dealing with Darien. You don't send her for anything. You send her for something simple. Go get little spaghetti elbows. Just a package of them.
Called macaroni.
Yeah, But they say elbows on the thing. It's macaroni elbows. She comes back with like the shells. Uh-huh. She'll like no matter what you tell her, she comes back with the wrong fucking thing. Every single time. Like she came back and
she's acting out.
You know what I think it is? She's trying to play dad, where you just like intentionally screw everything up so that you no longer get asked, but it
Right.
isn't working because my wife just sends her back to go get the actual thing. And even like Phoebe has had it because, and this was an actual conversation.
11-year-olds have enough of your
She
shit.
was so pissed the other day because, and I just walk in the room and she's like, "Are you serious? You really got these?" And I'm like, what's going on? She bought the fruit snacks. I'm like, so? She bought tropical fruit. Nobody likes tropical fruit snacks. It's disgusting.
This is some first world problems at work
No,
right
dude.
here.
So yeah, we've got like tropical fruit snacks. We've got reduced fat Chips Ahoy. Like, who buys the reduced fat? Like, no matter what you tell her, she always comes back with the wrong thing. To me, that's just, you could take a picture and she still finds the wrong one every single time.
I have to do that. I take pictures of things.
It doesn't matter.
Because I'm like, I am not coming back to this fucking store again.
This
'Cause
is what
gotta
I
come
get.
here every day.
I get, can you go get this, and this? Like, it'd be like, can you go grab? Like,
Can you fucking text me?
thank you. I'm all,
please?
send me a digital list of
we
some
do that.
sort.
Yes.
Well, then,
Wait, and it's like really, the 8-ounce can of chili beans.
I don't have.
She comes back with like Hormel chili with hot dogs, in it. Like, how did you mess that up? I sent you a picture of the can. How did you not find that can?
She's crying out.
That's got to be it. It's got to be a
Right.
ploy to try and
Yes.
get out of doing things.
I don't have a. I don't have a stupid thing. I have a creepy shit.
Oh,
My kids
jeez.
do. So since my boys are twins, there's a lot of times they're having a conversation that you can't hear. They're just kind of like, it's very strange. But a couple of weeks ago now, come to find out, if you have not heard, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, this year, September, October, I will be a grandfather.
that is going to be the whole new layer to this podcast.
Yes, it will.
I will be a grandpa. My daughter came over with her husband a couple weeks ago and for dinner and told me in the evening that I was going to be a grandfather, which I'm very excited about. But the creepy shit my kids do that morning. Now, nobody knew. Jennifer, my wife, did not know. I didn't know. And obviously, the boys wouldn't know. I'm getting them ready for their Spartan race. I had a Spartan race a couple weeks ago with the kids. And they're sitting at the counter and they're having their breakfast. And they say, "Hey, is Sissy coming over tonight with the baby?" I was like, "Sissy's coming over, but she ain't got no baby yet." And he just goes, "Huh," and just keeps eating this fucking cereal. All right? And,
That just gave me the chills.
Right?
Yeah, that's a little
some
creepy,
creepy
dude.
shit.
like,
That's a
what
little
the
creepy.
Hey.
Do they hold hands and wear a blue dress and
So,
walk down the hall? Or
sometimes they pull some shinnin stuff. I can't
so
say
funny.
shiny because we might get sued, but they do the shinnin. That was a Simpsons joke.
Yeah, I got your,
right.
I got your reference there.
They do weird shit like that.
That's
dude.
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And then like that night, she was like, "Hey, I'm
that
pregnant."
evening. And so like I kind of talk about it all day long, with all the other parents we're at the race with and stuff like that. And because I've been talking about it for
Yeah.
like months. I even went as far as got them a baby's first Christmas onesie during Christmas. And I wrapped the bitch up and gave it to her Christmas morning, and she opened it up and she's
So
like,
that means she was already pregnant on Christmas.
or
She got pregnant because of that.
of my now as
That's
far
weird.
as I
That's
know,
really
when my
Arkansas
daughter
of you.
when my daughter got pregnant, a stork came into the cabbage patch and left a diamond under
are
the leaf,
deluded.
and that's how it happened. Sick fuckers.
Likely
I
story.
don't want to know about my daughter's
Weren't you
sex
just
life. you
celebrating her,
fuckers.
the Chris's daughter, in a tube top?
Bless her heart. Hey, dude, the shit I've had to hear people say
Oh,
as
we know.
my
But
daughter
please.
walks by them, I'm like, God, I want to stick an ice pick in my ears, dude. So yeah, that was the creepy shit my kids do. It's
That's
like,
good times,
They
dude.
fucking knew, man. Like I said, he just said, "Huh." Just kept on eating them fucking Golden Grams.
That is easily the creepiest note we will ever go out on this podcast. So let's just wrap it up right there, you guys. Hey, thank you for sticking around, all 12 of you that are still listening, because I got at least 12 likes on the Facebook.
Okay, wait. Before we go.
No, we're wrapping up.
No.
This is the wrap up.
I want to, because you're talking about bless her heart, because she's what. So this is the kind of stuff I hear at my house, because you're deluded that you think your daughter's not doing stuff. So this is the kind of conversations we happen at our table. So basically, one of the girls, I'm not going to say who, says, how do I go see a gynecologist? And of course, they go into, detail, and I'm trying to eat, and it's like, I hear yeast infection, and then I hear, crabs? And like, what the fuck is going on here? And then at this point, I'm trying to eat, and I hear, is there discharge? I'm like, I'm fucking out. I'm so gone. I left the room.
These
dude.
conversations happened with my wife and my daughter in private.
And like where you're nowhere near it.
I was never
the
privy to
dinner
any
table.
of this, dude.
Nope.
Ever, man.
Nope.
Never.
Well, I'm sure glad we stopped the end of the podcast for that story. So let's stop right there. Thank you. All right. So once again, I am an octopus drumming.
I'm a 22-year-old yeast infection.
I'm the oily discharge.
We hope you guys are having a nerd life crisis. Music for the Nerdlife Crisis podcast is provided by Big Papa and the TCB. All music available at bptcb.com or at iTunes. The Nerdlife Crisis is recorded at the Inland Blue Studios. Make sure to subscribe to the Nerdlife Crisis at iTunes and like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Nerdlife Crisis.